Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, a ruling in the Marco Archer hearings. Ahead, what a judge has decided about the prospect of staying the case.
Also tonight, hear the NIB minister on questions over the release of the NIB audit.
And major shakeups in the Bahamas Olympic Committee. We've got the new slate. The National Report starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This segment of the news is brought to you by BTC, powered by Lime.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley.
And I'm Kendino Knowles. As always, it's good to have you with us.
Topping the news tonight, Kofi Goodman today heard the decision of the judge. His attorneys tried to convince that his murder case should be stayed.
Now, jury selections are expected to take place on Wednesday, which means the murder trial is expected to continue. Now, Goodman's attorney Jeffrey Farquharson had argued earlier for the trial to be put off indefinitely, claiming the adverse media publicity had prejudiced the case. 38-year-old Goodman is accused of killing 11-year-old Marco Archer between September 23rd and 28th of 2011. Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions Garvin Gaskin, attorney Neil Brathwaite, and attorney Darrell Taylor are prosecuting the case. As we said, Jeffrey Farquharson makes up the defense. Justice Bernard Turner is presiding.
In 2009, the government signed a $120 million contract with Jose Cartolone Construction of Argentina for the New Providence Road Improvement Project.
Now, the Inter-American Development Bank funded the project, which includes approximately 15.7 miles of road, 11 corridors, and 2 major intersections.
Now, some 4 years later, after public frustration and discussion, work is nearly complete.
Altavi's Munnings has this update from the Works Minister.
When the Progressive Liberal Party assumed office last year, May, Works and Urban Development Minister Philip Davis budgeted an additional $75 million to complete the New Providence Road Improvement Project. He told reporters Monday that the road work is nearly complete and will finish under budget.
What we're having now is what we call the accommodations work, tying in, side streets, doing the sidewalks and the gully pots, and making sure that the drainage and the surface of the roads are level, and those are the minor works that's been going on.
While the final touches are being made to the roadways in New Providence, the government is monitoring defects. The agreement with contractor Jose Cartolone allows a 1-year defect liability period, which ends January 2014.
We always find defects. It's just a question how material it may be, because what might be a defect is just a chip. A chip on the sidewalk will be a defect. Which is fixed. So you'll always find defects, but nothing material has been uncovered to date that causes us any alarm.
And speaking of contractor, the Jose Cartolone Construction Company, since the majority of the work is done, Minister Davis claims the government won't really need to consult with officials on any further project work, only if a defect is detected. But when asked if the government is satisfied with what the Argentinian-based company has accomplished so far,
we are of the view that we have competent Bahamian road builders in the Bahamas to be able to execute any level of works in the Bahamas. And I would say no more about that than that.
Well, let me just ask then, you're not dissatisfied though with the work of Jose Cartolone with the road work here in the Providence?
Well, from what I've seen and what I have, I'm not. All is well. That is ending well.
Altavi's Munnings for the ZNS News Network.
No word yet on when that audit report of the National Insurance Board will be released.
The audit came after allegations surfaced involving former National Insurance Board Chairman and MP for Marco City Greg Moss and now suspended Director Algernon Cargill.
The accounting firm Grant Thornton was engaged last November to conduct the audit after allegations were made by Moss against Cargill and later Cargill against Moss.
Now, Labor Minister Shane Gibson told reporters today that he can't announce an exact date of the report's release to the public as the Attorney General's office is still reviewing the document.
It's being looked at right now. They're analyzing the information. At the end of the day, they would give me advice. The AG is my lawyer, and they give me advice based on the information in the report. And so when attorneys write their opinion, they want to be careful that they would have covered all bases, or as many bases as possible, I guess, before they give you a position. I'm not going to rush them. I would have liked to have the opinion back from them last week, but the fact that they've not done that yet, I don't want to rush them. Same way I didn't rush the auditors, I'm not going to rush the AG.
Now, Gibson didn't want to reveal Thursday what course of action he feels needs to be taken once the report is released, but he did confirm that Algernon Cargill is still on administrative leave with full pay and benefits.
Well, as soon as we make a decision based on the recommendation from the Attorney General office, and then one or two things would happen. Either he returned to work, or he don't return to work. One or two things would happen.
Don't return as in being fired, or?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that he would be fired. I'm saying I'm not sure. That depends. What happens going forward depends on what we get from the AG office.
Two men are in hospital tonight after being shot in two separate incidents. The first shooting took place just after 1 o'clock this morning, leaving a 23-year-old with injuries. Preliminary reports indicate that the victim was at a residence on Key West Street North when he was approached and shot multiple times by an unknown male. The victim was taken to hospital by emergency personnel where he's detained in serious condition. The second incident happened about 20 minutes later at Market and Hay Streets. The 25-year-old victim was shot multiple times, but the circumstances surrounding this particular shooting are unclear. Now, the victim is listed in critical condition in hospital in this case. Police are appealing to members of the public who may have any information which can help police with the investigations to come forward.
The man stabbed to death Saturday morning has been identified as 45-year-old Stephen Alexander Williams of Monastery Park. The father of one died in hospital shortly after an altercation with another man. Authorities are questioning a 52-year-old male resident of West End Avenue in connection with the incident.
The biker killed on Sunday has also been identified. He is 27-year-old Maxwell Thompson of Step Street, Fox Hill. Police say Thompson was riding a blue and white Yamaha motorcycle east on Bernard Road when he collided with the driver of a 2006 Hyundai Tucson around 12:45 Sunday afternoon. Police say the cyclist received serious injuries and was taken to hospital where he later died. Police continue to investigate this matter, and they're appealing to all road users to drive with due care and attention and to abide by the rules of the road.
Well, we're still getting news in from the blast at the Boston Marathon, where two bombs struck near the finish line, killing 2 people and injuring dozens of others. 2 Bahamians are listed in the results section on the website. One is listed as 33-year-old Sydney Colley from Nassau and 45-year-old Rhonda Claridge, who lists her residence as Tellerud, Colorado. Also, a 45-year-old Lynn Robinson from Providenciales was listed in the results as well. However, from all indications, they were not near the blast because they appeared to have finished the race.
Now, authorities in Boston say they found at least one other explosive device that they were dismantling. They don't know who may have planted the bombs. There were no credible threats before the race. The Boston Globe is saying that as many as 51 people were being treated at area hospitals. There are many other hospitals in the Boston area. However, injured people are being treated in medical tents that have been placed near the marathon finish line to treat exhausted runners.
Now, for clarification, the 33-year-old Sydney Colley is the cousin of former Minister and MP Sydney Colley. ZNS News spoke with the former minister, who confirmed that the runner was indeed his family and is in fact safe.
Now, police across the U.S., including the Miami-Dade area, have been placed on a heightened scene of alert, a heightened alert after these explosions.
In our first look at weather, scattered showers and pockets of thunderstorms affecting parts of the northwest Bahamas. But outside of our studios, we have partly cloudy skies, temperature 80 degrees, your relative humidity 58%, winds out of the south at 4 knots, barometric pressure 1,016.3 millibars, that's 30.01 inches, and it is rising. But stay tuned, temperatures around the Family Islands, travel and boating forecast is still to come.
Well, still to come, we'll tell you about the latest IDB meeting.
And coming up in sports, startling revelations from the Bahamas Olympics Committee's elections. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news is brought to you by Lux Men's Warehouse.